If it all is working like it usually is, we are live again.
Little late due to
welcome.
technology issues, but we're
Yeah,
good.
but hope you guys enjoyed your 1 week without us. But this is our 100th episode. So we wanted to, it just didn't seem right to talk about the movies coming up and the TV show finishing before the 100th episode.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And well, honestly, this is our 100th episode of Johnny and the Greg. We did like what 150 at Topic Thunder and
no, we never got that far. But
we never got that far. I thought we did.
No, I think it's like 159 total that we have like on YouTube and on our
Podbean,
our audio. Yeah, our audio.
Our website, johnnyandthegreg.com.
Yeah. Speaking of that, guys, do your usual if you can for us. Like, subscribe, share. If you really want to, jump out, run out into the middle of the street and yell that Johnny and the Greg are on live Facebook right now. That would be careful, but I'm not gonna get upset if you do it.
I'm not gonna stop you.
Yeah.
Be a little careful
So,
if you do.
Before we get into our spoiler-free movie review as well as our Moon Knight recap, Greg's going to let you know a little something about Audible.
Yes, so we are partnered with Audible, which is I believe the #1 audiobook company that's out there. Hundreds of thousands of audiobooks for you to download and enjoy, and even Doctor Strange. They have Doctor Strange books on there as well. So yeah, if you're looking for something that you want to learn about, read about, is that book you've been putting off forever, maybe it's that classic that you're just like, I couldn't bring myself to read it, but if I want to listen to it, that's a good way to go. That's now's the time to do that. Mm-hmm. So you can get 30 days for free on us. So that gets you the subscription and a couple books, I believe. And then if you want to buy additional books, the great thing about Audible is that no matter what you buy, it's yours to keep. Like if you decide that after the 30 days, it's not for you, you're going to stop that subscription, fine. No problem. Those books that you purchased during that time are still yours to listen to at any time. We love it. Whole family uses it. So if you want to get that 30 days, you go to audibletrial.com/JATG and you just start downloading and getting some good reading. If you're a commuter, it's fabulous. They got podcasts on there, all that other stuff. So again, 30 days for free, partnered with us. So you get that. It's audibletrial.com/JATG.
There we go. Good job. And let's just get into it, folks. So I thought we'd hit Moon Knight first.
Sure.
Just in terms of your thoughts, what'd you think about it? What did you, just give me your thoughts on it.
Okay. Yeah. So it's over now. We're probably going to be covering some spoilers here. So if you're fully aware, and because after that, we're talking Doctor Strange and we're going to cover some spoilers too. So this might not be the show for you. So if you just want to say thanks for the 100 and come back next week, we totally understand. That being said, I liked Moon Knight. I was surprised by how many people that didn't.
Really?
Yeah, I've talked to a couple people like Matt,
really?
our theater buddy Matt. He's like, he didn't like it at all. And I'm like, what the hell's wrong with you? So it's different. I mean,
very much so.
And here's the thing, and I think this is what people, the general audience, that has grown to love the MCU, starting with the Iron Man film, and never really read the comics. They were more into the film side of things.
Mm-hmm.
Marvel, especially in these other phases, they're not going to do another Steve Rogers film. They're not going to do another Iron Man film with Tony Stark. I mean, those ships have sailed. So they're getting away from kind of those normal characters, and they're really starting to let their filmmakers and showrunners kind of stretch out into almost experimental kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
And I think that doesn't always hit with every audience.
No, absolutely. I think the Eternals is a big
perfect example. Yeah,
I really liked it, and everybody I've talked to did not. I think you liked it too.
I do.
Yeah.
It's not your typical superhero story, and for the people that are just looking for that kind of simplicity in a Marvel film, I don't think you're going to get that in any new projects really coming out. There's going to be a level of complexity there that's what's going to be driving storylines now, not just we need to get the gems and fight Thanos. I mean, it's never going to be that easy again.
No.
I liked Moon Knight for one, the Egyptian side of things. I've always
Very
been
cool.
fascinated with
too.
Egyptian archaeology
Such
and,
a crazy culture. It was
yeah,
so cool.
their pantheon and what it meant. I mean,
Mhm.
I believe, and when I say I've been interested in it, I'm more interested in like the romanticized version of it, where it's
Right.
just
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
not the, what's the day in the life of your average
Yes.
Egyptian potter. Yeah,
Yes.
I'm not in it for that aspect. I'm in it for like the fantastical, like I said, the romanticized
Yeah.
kind of thing.
Yeah.
Delving into the last I've heard it called was pervasive personality disorder, which is used to be called like a split personality
Right.
disorder.
Yeah.
And honestly, we've had some people's kind of come in and out of our life that actually suffered from this condition. It's scary. I mean, it is terrifying.
It would be terrifying. Yes, I agree. I agree.
Yep.
Yeah, it's terrifying. It's also probably terrifying for the people that are friends with those friends, and
Yeah.
you don't know who you're talking to, and you
Yep.
don't know. Yeah, so that would be scary. Yeah.
And
Go ahead. Sorry.
so, I mean, just that they kind of tackled that, and the trauma that actually creates that
Yes.
is severe.
Yep.
Because it's literally like your brain has to like wall itself off
Mm-hmm.
and splinter itself so that you don't deal with some terrible trauma.
Right.
And that's what they did in Moon Knight. I was surprised they actually showed it, like how, through the death in the family and things like that,
Yeah,
and how
that was
he
really deep.
how he was treated
Yes.
because of it.
Yes.
I really didn't expect them to do that.
Yeah. I think you hit the nail on the head there. I think Marvel is branching out and they are experimenting and they're seeing. Right now we're in this stage of Marvel where they have enough equity in the back to throw stuff to the wall and see what sticks.
Yeah.
Maybe this is something WB should have done with Zack Snyder down the line, but
Yeah.
this is I really enjoyed Moon Knight. It's funny, my Ursula liked it up until the psych ward,
Yeah.
because it lost her because she didn't know, okay, was that real, was that not real, did all that happen in his head, is that not in his head, like what's going on? And I told her, does it really matter? Like, he thinks it's real, does it matter? Like, you're just watching a story, but
Well, and I think the big thing is, was any of it real? I mean, you started to question.
that's what she was asking.
You started to question the whole series at that point, and that was
Yeah.
the first to last episode.
Yeah,
was
the
the
fifth one.
psych ward.
Fifth one,
Yeah,
yeah.
so out of a 6-episode series, 5 was them in a psych ward,
A big turning point, actually.
and you're like, what's real, what's not? And I really liked that.
Yeah, me too.
I think there was more character development of 2 characters inheriting the same body in Moon Knight than there was in 3 Captain America films. I mean,
You were Steve Rogers?
yeah. I mean, Steve was pretty much the same.
I don't think Steve ever really. Yeah, Steve doesn't change.
He doesn't develop.
Yeah, you're right.
And they tried doing it with Stark, and I just didn't buy it. But I thought, I mean, Oscar Isaac sold the last
Amazing.
episode when he's having when his personalities are kind of coming to term.
Yeah.
Or they come to terms of like, hey, this is our existence and we're just going to embrace that, when they're talking to each other.
Yeah.
And how he would very smoothly switch between an
Yeah.
English accent and an American accent, and just that back and forth. And you're like, whoa.
Yeah.
I thought that was great.
You know what I was really impressed with, and maybe I shouldn't be impressed, but when he was Stephen Grant, the guy from London,
Yeah.
he even had slang down that I've never heard before.
Right.
And
Yeah.
I thought that was a nice little touch. Now I wonder if he would add that in there, like, well, a London guy would usually say this, or if the writers did that. I don't know, whoever did that, or if you both did it. Great job, because if I'm a writer and I'm writing a London, or I'm sorry, a guy that was raised in London, you're gonna put in the slang that most people know. There was some
Yeah.
stuff I didn't hear, and I was like,
There's
oh,
I saw an
okay,
interview with Oscar Isaacs and a British journalist,
okay,
and they were kind of going through like the slang
yeah,
that he kind of goes through. And they were quizzing him on, do you know what this slang means? Do you know what it? And he
yeah,
knew, I'd say about 75% of them. And they're like, you said it in this part. And he's like, yeah, I just said it.
yeah,
Like it
okay.
was.
So
But
that was
I
the
mean,
writers.
they
Okay.
asked him what his favorite one was. He's like, being called a donut. I mean, that's
Yeah,
just
I
like
think that's great. If
yeah.
anybody called me a donut, I would not be offended by that.
I would be kind of flattered because everybody loves donuts, right? I mean, you're kind of yeah.
You think so? You would think everybody loves donuts, but I hear you don't eat donuts.
No, not really.
Yeah.
I don't eat a lot of donuts.
um.
That is true.
Yeah,
But yeah, it's the character development that they had, and you know the episode in the psych ward when Tawet just shows up, which
yes,
is an Egyptian goddess of she ferries
the dead.
souls, yeah,
Yeah.
ferries the dead, and her look is that she's a hippo.
Yeah.
So
Yes.
I mean, when she comes out and they just have that scream, that
Yes.
shared scream, and that was hilarious.
Yes.
Because everybody, I think, did something. They're like, hippo.
Yeah. When that happened, and then it stops. It goes to the credits at that.
Yeah.
point.
Yep.
Ursula looks at me, and I'm looking at the remote, and she goes, "What are you doing?" I go, "I don't know if we accidentally watched Open Range. I'm not, or Outer Range. I'm not sure if we missed something here, because that was a weird episode." But
Yeah.
all kidding aside, I thought it was great. What I thought was really good about it is it completely stands alone. It doesn't
lean
wouldn't
on
know.
any
You
other
wouldn't
Marvel
know.
property.
Yeah, you wouldn't know if that's part of the MCU. You wouldn't know.
Yeah, and I enjoyed that.
Yeah.
And that's what I said. We're getting to a point where Marvel can start to pull these other characters out that are unique, and they can do a lot of storytelling with. We've talked about starting with Moon Knight, and they've got a Werewolf by Night series coming out. They're going to do another. I think Blade is a movie.
Yes, Blade's a movie.
Which is going to include the Black Knight coming out with that. I mean, there's these different characters that, everybody's heard of Blade because of the Wesley Snipes films, but a lot of people don't even associate him as a Marvel character.
Correct. Yeah.
But he is. He's kind of like when people talk about, well, the first MCU film was Iron Man. No, it wasn't. No. It was Blade.
Yep.
That was the grand experiment to see, can we take our characters and make a decent movie out of them?
Yeah.
So they're now digging into the kind of who do we have that is unknown enough that it's a very small fan group that's going to have expectations, and then we can kind of play around with the character a little bit more with his background or whatever,
right?
And with the least amount of risk of pissing off fans.
Yeah, I agree with all that. There's nothing I can really add to it. My only problem I didn't like, and I have this problem when we get to superheroes, is that everybody starts becoming a superhero. Everybody that's like part of.
Okay.
I just didn't like that they made her his wife / girlfriend. I don't know how you would. His wife.
The female lead.
She was very cool in her own right, and then all of a sudden she became a superhero. And I was just kind of like, really? Like, you couldn't wait till the second season for that? Like, why we have to rush that in? Like, or if it was a moment where you just gave her the opportunity, and as soon as she rescued Khonshu, then it would go away. That was like, here, I'll help you right here. And then I would have been fine with that. But
they set up the concept of avatars early in the season.
Yes, they did. Yeah, and I should have saw it coming that she might have gotten an avatar. I know that I think they were basing her off of 2 characters in a Moon Knight comic. Some guy I watched that reviews these, he's a big Moon Knight fan, so he was going over the mythology of it all. But yeah, other than that, and the only other part I didn't like was that little girl saying, "So are you a European or not European? Are you an Egyptian superhero?" Like, nobody says that. At that moment in time, there's a giant alligator fighting a giant skull.
Could they see that?
Oh,
I don't
maybe
know if
they could.
I don't think the general public saw that.
Okay, then that would explain, because I thought that little girl would not be sitting there asking this girl.
No, I don't think the general population could see
Okay, well then
that.
that's my
That
mistake
was
then. Okay,
really for our benefit. I mean, Moon Knight could see it. The girl
yeah.
who
So
they
whoever
never
was an
really gave a name,
avatar.
but I like the idea that they gave her powers. I think that was I think that was a decent jump in her character development. So I liked that. I liked her. I thought her costume was pretty badass.
That was really cool, and people gave her shit about it. They
No,
they said the CGI was bad. I didn't think so.
I
That was really
never
cool.
I never got a chance to look it up, but I was like, are they bringing in ISIS like the old 1970s comic book show that was there? It was like the ISIS and Shazam Power Hour, but I don't know if Marvel owns ISIS, but it
No,
seemed
from what I understood,
almost
she's the Scarab
the Scarab.
or something like that.
Well, her wings were like eagle's wings.
Yes, they were. Yeah.
I don't know. I liked it. All the ladies in my house, they really liked it, so I was certainly on board with that. And the idea of the Egyptian superhero, I think they were just, I think that's good because Marvel was setting up like, hey, superheroes exist everywhere. I mean, the only other international hero we had seen was Black Panther.
Or the Black Knight.
Well, we haven't.
Oh, we didn't really
him,
see him.
Yeah, we didn't really see him yet. But
no, I'm not saying about the diversity of it. That's not a problem to me. But a problem to me is that like they made it a point to write that.
That they just wrote it in and made
like you don't have
obvious.
to. Yeah, you know, like there's our equality for everyone. Like it's like you don't have to do that. You take it, or at least it takes it away from me. I was kind of like
my first thought of it, my first thought was, is she Egyptian? I mean, she's obviously an avatar of an Egyptian goddess, but I don't know if that character was actually Egyptian.
Right. But there wasn't a time, and I don't know when it happened, but there wasn't a time in the MCU where they went, are you a black superhero? Like, they didn't do that. Like, you didn't need to do it. That was my point. Or, wow, look, it's Captain America, and he's black. You didn't have to do that.
Yeah, no, they brought it, but they did bring in race into Falcon and Winter Soldier, and they definitely brought it in.
Yes, no.
In the last Spider-Man film where Jamie Foxx was like, man, you're from Brooklyn. I just thought you was black. I mean, like that line, everybody thought it was just a throwback to Miles Morales. But it
actually makes sense. The idea makes sense. Yeah.
The idea, I mean, he's from Brooklyn. He's a superhero. Right. He helps out the little man. I just thought you were black.
Right.
And I just love that he apologizes for not being black.
Yeah.
Patrick Garber was like, oh, but I'm sorry, man.
I don't know. I think we're going too far into this, but I don't. That to me was fine. I have no problem.
It was a little bit of like, and I thought this even in when we get to the Doctor Strange portion of the show, that there were dialogue choices and like just framing choices where you're like, that's a little cheesy. But
yes.
But I don't think it's any more cheesy than the gratuitous cape turning into a crescent moon whenever he would do.
Not at all. That was badass.
No.
I loved it. No, that was badass.
That's still
if Batman doing it is badass, why can't Moon Knight doing it be badass?
I didn't say Batman doing it wasn't cheesy.
I'm not talking about
I'm not even saying I didn't enjoy it. Like when the Batwing goes up in the moon and it makes the bag single. Yes. That's fun. It's cheesy as fuck though.
Nah. Badass. It's badass. Nope. Let us know, folks. Is that cheesy or is that badass? I think that's badass. Just like a superhero landing. It's badass, but it is stupid like you do it in real life. Yeah. All right. So in our opinion, go watch Moon Knight. It's not your run-of-the-mill superhero
I liked it.
And that's why we liked it. So go check it out. It's good. Moving on to the big one. Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness. Now, we're gonna do a small non-spoiler just part for our friend Tony, because Tony said you guys are gonna spoil it for me, are you? Because he has another week to catch it. And I told Tony, I was planning on not spoiling it, but if you want to talk spoilers, then we're just gonna cut it out. We're just gonna tell Tony from this point, Tony, don't listen. I know it's really hard. I was thinking of how am I going to talk about this without spoiling it. So I will tell you when we're actually going to spoil it. I just want to get Greg your point of view. Did you like it?
we'll figure out how
like,
deep we can go into the spoilers.
yeah,
I guess
and then
I can try to curb myself a little bit.
and then I know, but there is so much to discuss with the spoiler that we need to do.
There is,
so.
yeah.
Greg, did you like it?
Oh yeah, yeah. I did like it. I liked it a lot, and I liked it a lot. But had I not been such a fan, of the MCU, where I've watched everything.
Yes.
There isn't a single episode I've missed. There
Did you
isn't a
watch
single
Inhumans?
film. Yeah. Well,
Okay,
parts of
just
it.
checking,
Yeah.
just
I didn't watch the
checking.
whole thing.
Okay.
But that didn't play into this. So
Right.
and you know what? I guess I didn't watch all of Agents of Shield either. There's some of those that I missed.
No, I just when someone says
thank
they
you for
watch it
calling
all-
out my nerd there, Johnny. But when it comes to film projects and anything that's been on the Disney Plus, yeah, I haven't missed an episode.
Nor I.
I haven't missed anything post Thanos. So the idea that you can't go into this movie having not at least read about or seen WandaVision and kind of everything else. Like, you need to know what happened in WandaVision.
Yeah.
You got to know what happened in Spider-Man No Way Home to really understand how we got in this place to begin with. Like, why is the multiverse kind of jacked? Why is Doctor Strange involved in the multiverse stuff? You got to have some Loki knowledge.
Yeah.
And then, WandaVision. I mean, they try to explain a little bit of it, but for the most part, it is the idea like, hey, Wanda has 2 sons that she magicked out of thin air, and then she lost and she's hurting. Moving on. And if you don't really internalize that, like if you miss that part, like if you got up to pee at that part, it's going to be hard for you to really know the depth of Wanda's pain and why she's doing what she's doing.
Right. Yes.
So this is really the first, I'm going to call it a not standalone film. It is very much it's a serialized kind of filmmaking project. Like, it's a Doctor Strange film, but you better be in the know for all this other stuff to really understand.
I would say the 5 things you need to watch before you watch this movie, or at least know what's going on in those, is the first Doctor Strange, Infinity War, the WandaVision and Loki, and No Way Home. I think you need to watch those 3.
You got to watch No Way Home to know where,
5.
how the multiverse is still all jacked now.
Yeah. According to Feige, it happened because of Loki. All of that transpired because of what happened in Loki.
Okay, so
I thought it was a combination of Wanda, Spider-Man, Loki. It just busted it all open, but he's putting it all on Loki.
Well, good. That's good to know.
So, okay.
So I don't think we're going too far into spoiler territory when we say it was very ambiguous throughout the trailers and whatnot of like, well, who's this villain? Like, who are they going after? Like, they almost make it look like we have a dark Doctor Strange, that's the bad guy.
Yes.
No, it's not it. I mean, and not even to say that we don't have a dark Doctor Strange, because we kind of do, but it's Wanda. I mean, it is.
I think anybody that was on the know knew that she was possibly the one that everybody
I mean, you end WandaVision with her digging deep into some dark magics, and it took its toll.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, I liked it. I walked out going, okay, it was a Marvel movie. It wasn't the best one out. It wasn't the best one. It didn't make my top 3, but I walked out very pleased, very happy. And as the weekend progressed, I liked it more and more and more and more as I thought about it. And now I really enjoyed myself. I really liked it. So good job. And I am not by nature a Sam Raimi fan.
That's true. Yeah.
And so when I was scared to death when I heard that he because I really liked the first Doctor Strange, and that guy left because I guess he wanted to make it a true horror. He was like shooting for R rating, and he wanted true horror. And Disney's was like, well, let's hold the phone on that, and I think the reason they held the phone on that is because I think they're depending on Doctor Strange to be the next or one of the next like Tony Stark guys for this phase.
To bring people together.
I don't know about
Or
bringing
just,
people together.
I
Just
think
the
he's the linchpin. I mean, because
yeah.
he's
Thank
the
you.
multiverse guy.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I could see that.
So I think they want to keep Benedict Cumberbatch. Like I think they want everybody to see him. But anyway, I thought it was good. I think it's great. There's a lot of questions. There's a lot of things I just want to talk about. I wanted to talk to you about them yesterday because in my head I was thinking to myself, we're not going to spoil it on here because of Tony. But now Tony is a really good time for you to no longer listen to us because we're going to go into spoilers. So anybody that has not watched Doctor Strange and you do not want it spoiled for you, this is the time to basically leave. So for those of you that are leaving now, Greg says usually
we did
don't
lose
be a
somebody.
douche. You lost somebody already?
Yeah, we did. We are not. I saw
well, I
our
figured,
number
no,
just drop off.
fine. And we podcast out, everybody. So,
Yeah.
All right. Here is the spoiler review. Where do you want to start, Greg?
I don't know. Start at the beginning.
Yeah.
America Chavez.
Okay.
Not a character I've ever read in the comic.
Nor I. I know about her, but I didn't.
I had to look her up when they said they're going to include America Chavez.
Yeah.
And I went, who's that? And as I'm reading it, it's like, okay, she's got super strength, she's got heightened abilities. She's a South American immigrant, and I'm like, okay, and it said in the comic, like in the comic base, she later on found that she could open portals with her star power, and they could cross multiverse.
Right.
That is the crux of the film, like that she has this ability.
She's pretty much the
only
MacGuffin.
one. Yeah, she's the only one ever that could freely cross multiverses and be okay.
Yes, she's also the only one in the entire multiverse. There is not a duplicate.
Right, there's no copy of her everywhere, which is interesting. I thought that was pretty interesting.
Yeah. So she's almost like just like a one-off.
Now, did you in the one scene where her and Strange are just breaking through multiverses?
Yes.
I was looking at every background.
So was I. I actually want to buy that and slow it down so I can see, because I know there's the living tribunals there.
That was the first one that I'm like, and I went, oh, and like everybody else around me was like, what did you see? Yeah. And I was like, that was the living tribunal. And they're like, okay, who's that? I'm like, it's a big deal. It's a big deal. But and I didn't really notice any of the other ones. There was, I thought maybe they did cross through the zombie verse, but I wasn't totally sure.
Yeah, I don't know about that either. You know what? I just remember seeing the Living Tribunal, and I had the same problem with you. I went, oh my God, the Living Tribunal. And the guy Mateo, who was next to me, goes, what's that? And I'm trying to explain it, but keep my eye on what's happening here. But not a lot. I didn't get a lot after that. I think there was one, but I forgot it now. I did like, this is a stupid little thing, and this is the type of stuff I really dig. I love how when he was at the wedding, his little like red thing was the cape. Like I liked how he turned. Yes, I loved how he turned. I loved how he wore a scarf, and then he wore and then he wore a handkerchief. I just love that they do that stuff. That's cool stuff to me. Let's just talk about what everybody wants to know about the Illuminati. I was
so excited.
Yes, I love parts of this, and I don't like parts of this. And the only part I don't like about it is it was too short. Yeah. It was too short. And that's my kind of feeling about the whole movie was there's about a half hour more I would have liked to have seen there, which is the sign of a good movie if you want to see more. But
I certainly wanted those characters to get more screen time.
Yes.
When Reed Richards came on the screen.
How'd you feel?
Yeah, I said it. I felt vindicated. I honestly did. I was like, yes,
he did
it.
By the way, real quick, whoever originally put that Photoshop together originally, and I think he took the actual body and the frame from the movie 13 Hours when he was that soldier. John Krasinski I'm talking about.
Yeah.
There's a famous picture of him that because they like he was in great shape for that film and stuff like that. I think somebody took that profile and then they put the suit on him and it looked beautiful.
Well, and people forget that John Krasinski it was down to him and Chris Evans for Captain America.
Yep.
So he was doing the workouts, he was doing all this thing. We were very, very close to seeing a John Krasinski Captain America,
which I would have been fine with.
I would have been fine with that too. He would have been great. But I've been trying to, it's not listed, but Marvel is making a Fantastic Four film.
Right. The director just left.
Yeah, the director just left for creative differences.
Yes.
But we had heard that, excuse me, we had heard that it was the guy with the curly hair from Always Sunny in Philadelphia.
Yes.
That was going to be Reed Richards.
Right.
And it still could be.
Yes.
That's
the one thing I want everybody to know. Everybody's jumping, going, oh my God, he's going to be in it.
Yeah.
He's Reed Richards. Not so fast.
Yeah, not so fast. He doesn't make it through the Doctor Strange film. So, there is that element to it where, in the multiverse, sometimes it's the same actor, sometimes it's not.
Yes.
So
with Loki, it can be really off. There was an alligator that was Loki.
Yeah. So, it could be that. So as much as I'm still not, it kind of rekindled some hope to see Krasinski as Reed Richards. At the same time, I think it could have just been Sam Raimi being like, well, here you go, folks. Yeah. I'm giving you you what you want.
I agree.
And destroying
that's
your
it
at the same time.
Yes. I was, what blew me away actually was Black Bolt looked awesome. I thought he looked awesome, but I was shocked at what happened there.
It was creative.
Yes.
Definitely creative.
Yes.
I was now Anson Mount, who played Black Bolt in the Inhumans TV series
show that everybody wants to forget.
Yeah, everybody wants to, but he's cool. I like him. He's currently on the new Strange New World.
Pike, right?
Yeah, he's Captain Pike on Star Trek Strange New Worlds.
Yeah.
And just killing it in that role. He killed it because they had Pike on Star Trek Discovery for a little bit, and it was fantastic. Yeah. But someone said it was the same, that he was playing Black Bolt. And I was like, I couldn't tell through the mask if it was actually him.
Oh, actually, I could.
Could you
say that? Yeah, I could. I was like, oh, they got the guy from Inhumans. Yeah.
Because in the Inhumans, he does not wear the full Black Bolt.
No, he does not at all. Yeah. Yeah.
I'm trying to find if they do list him in IMDb.
Yeah. They had Captain Carter.
Yep, Captain Carter, Haley Atwell. Yep. And I'm glad they actually got Haley Atwell. That's fantastic.
Me too. The only one I was not impressed with was Captain Marvel.
Yeah, I'd never seen her before. Lashana
Lynch. That's Maria Lambeau. Or Rambeau.
Rambo? Was it really?
Yeah, that's who that is.
Oh, it is.
Yeah, that's his or I think you saw her friend when she, not her granddaughter, but her friend.
Right, her friend. In the first Captain Marvel film, it was her friend who had a daughter.
Yeah.
I didn't recognize her, I guess.
Yeah.
Because now I'm looking at it on IMDb, and sure enough, yep, that's right.
And what's really interesting, I heard when she goes, "You're in the Baxter Building," and I went, "Oh my God!" When I heard that, I was like, "Oh my God!" Anyway,
that was the Baxter Foundation.
Yeah.
Yep, I lead the Baxter Foundation.
For anybody that knows, that's where Reed Richards hangs out. Yep. That's like his building.
And it wasn't. Yeah, it totally was Anson Mount. He's uncredited, but it was Anson Mount.
Yeah. The only thing I was disappointed was I was like, oh damn, no Tom Cruise.
I didn't care.
I wanted to see Iron Man because this is what I first thought. Like I heard, okay, I'm one of those guys that I don't care about plot leaks as much as everybody else. Like I can get spoiled on certain things. I don't care. I heard originally, and maybe this was part of it, and then they had to redo stuff. But a big part of Doctor Strange's development throughout the story was that he was still feeling guilty about the choice he made to sacrifice Tony, knowing that was the only shot.
But then it's not a choice.
Huh?
Then it's not. If it's the only shot, it's no longer a choice. It's just this is what we had to do to defeat Thanos.
Sure. And in the way that I heard that the story was supposed to develop was that was a thing that was weighing on him, was that he picked that future because he saw 14 billion or 14 million, and he picked that future, and knowing that Tony was going to die and he couldn't do anything about it. And he's a doctor, he doesn't want to kill anybody and all that stuff, or Hippocratic oath, all that jazz. And I heard that they have that moment where the Illuminati, where he gets to kind of say to that Tony, look, like, I'm sorry, I had to do it type thing, where they kind of make up with each other. But I think they kind of did that with Christine versus Tony. But anyway, that was the only thing I didn't.
I will say that I was also shocked that Christine had such a big role.
Really?
Yeah, I really didn't think and because I'm not going to read an article about a movie that I'm about to go see. I did see a headline from Rachel McAdams where she's like, I was totally content to be a one-off in the MCU.
Yeah.
So I thought that article was just about her being a one-off, but nope, it was about her coming back into the MCU. And I think the way they have it set up now, we could see her in more Doctor Strange films.
We could. I think that was the end of her though.
And it could be. And you know what? That's okay too. I'm not like in love with that character that she needs to come back.
Right. Yes, I agree.
So
I do you know what I want to see on Disney Plus? The Adventures of Wong, the Sorcerer Supreme.
Yeah.
I think that'd be fun.
Someone did post my friend Buzz, he posted there when Wong is flung off the cliff.
Okay.
He's got like a short kind of buzz cut.
Yes.
When we come back to him on the cliff, like his hair is kind of grown out.
Reshoot.
So that it was a reshoot.
Yes.
And the continuity person did not do their job on that.
No, they didn't.
So they're like, missed that one. I didn't even notice because I'm not really into the habit of looking at people's hair in a movie.
Neither am I.
But yeah, he had 2 still shots there, and I was like, okay then.
Yeah.
So
yeah. I loved the fight between Strange and Sinister Strange.
Yeah.
I thought that was really cool and creative.
They did. It was a musical fight. I mean,
yes.
I could hear from the tones right away. I was like, they're bringing in like Beethoven and stuff.
Yeah.
And then when they started to like use like the musical notes and the staff and all those things, I was like, oh, that's a wizard fight. I mean, that's pretty cool.
I thought it was really cool. I thought it was very creative.
I liked the distinction between sorcery and witchcraft. Did you catch that?
Me too. Yes, it did. Yes. They use a lot of ruins and
they get into the idea of sorcery is like controlling it. Yeah, controlling energies from within, things like that. And witchcraft was all like rune work and using different things.
Right. Yeah. I was shocked at how dark they went in some places.
Yeah, the horror elements for sure. It's still PG-13, but like we see some things in there that I had heard from Matt, our theater buddy, that there were parents that were taking a couple more bathroom breaks than usual because it would get to a point they're like, okay, let's take you out, let's go get a snack, let's go use the bathroom or something like that. Because it's
it's a
Raimi movie.
Even when Wanda, there were moments where Wanda was damn right horrifying. Like she was scary. Like just coming out of the mirror, it was like, oh, dude, and I obviously do not think Wanda's dead. I don't think you do either. I am shocked. So. I am shocked they killed they eradicated the Darkhold. I'm shocked at that. That's all
our universe.
Every unit. Yeah. No, she did.
Oh no, it's from every.
I'm shocked that they're like, okay, Darkhold. Now we're moving on. And I'm kind of like, that's something that's been around forever.
And Mount Wundagore, that I think they changed the origin of Mount Wundagore. I mean, Mount Wundagore was the home of the High Evolutionary.
No, Chthon did it there too. he wrote the book there. I don't know if he
Right.
wrote it on the temple, but
Right.
that was something I think they took.
But I thought in the current 616, it was the home of the High Evolutionary, who I've heard they've thought about bringing in.
Yeah.
Um,
616. It's interesting that they're calling the MCU 616.
that was interesting because
was
that's the
very
comic
interesting.
book universe.
Yes. That was
And now
very
the
interesting.
MC universe is the 616.
Yeah.
So I don't know if they're going to change the comic universe.
I have no
I don't
idea.
know.
I have no idea what's going on with that. But where this is going, I think it's going to have to do a lot with they threw incursions at us like at every time.
Crazy.
Yeah. What were we gonna say?
Well, we're getting some messages because I'm chatting with some people. Oh, well, no, we'll get to it when we talk about the post-credit scenes.
Okay. Yes. The incursions. I think it's this is all coming down to some sort of a secret war, and I think that's how they're going to introduce the mutants. To be honest.
Oh, I think so. I mean, they had Charles Xavier. They had the version in that universe is more like the Charles Xavier of the animated series.
Yes. Did you catch the?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. I thought that was great.
Good, and the soundtrack by Danny Elfman, off the charts, fantastic. I mean, he always does a great job. I love the fact that Danny Elfman was able to like switch up his style a little bit to the point where I'm like, this doesn't sound like a Danny Elfman track to me. So I thought that was cool. They've got the animated Charles Xavier. I was really suspicious because Captain Carter, when she flew in on a jetpack, just looking over her shoulder, I was like, is that a Rocketeer backpack?
Oh,
that really looks like the X-23. I really thought that it was the Rocketeer. At one shot, I could see that it was designed very differently. Okay. But I thought, I'm like, if they bring in the Rocketeer to the MCU, holy shit! I was gonna have a nerdgasm right there if they would have done that. Yeah. But they didn't.
The only thing, if I'm being picky, I didn't like the end, the immediate end. But that was very Sam Raimi.
That was very Sam Raimi. Absolutely,
because
it was.
The way that ended, I was like, okay, what? All right, and then it didn't help with the end credit scene because it looked like he was totally cool with it. Totally in control with it.
Yeah,
totally.
I thought that too. It's the biggest cliffhanger in a Marvel film I think we've gotten since
Infinity War?
Yeah, I would say Infinity War. Because even like Winter Soldier had a kind of definitive ending.
Yes.
I mean, it was like, okay, the Winter Soldier's here, but it wasn't as like abrupt, I would say.
Yeah.
And this seemed very abrupt.
Yeah.
I mean, it was, boom, third eye, and here we go.
So what we're talking about, folks, is at the literal end of the movie, not the end credit scenes, the end of the movie. He's walking down the street. He saved the day. And all of a sudden, he falls
incredible pain.
And he's incredible pain. Looks up into the sky, and the third eye appears. And from the movie, the third eye was kind of like a bad thing. It was like,
it seemed that way. Yeah.
Yeah. You didn't do the right thing. Now in the comic books, he always pops open that bad boy every now.
Yeah. The third eye is kind of common.
He's popping open the third eye all the time.
And in, some religions, like the third eye, it's a chakra. I mean, it's right up there. And if you learn how to control it, then you can open your third eye and you can see the world in different lights.
Correct.
So the fact that it's like a physical actual eye.
Yeah, that's very Sam Raimi.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wonder if that'll be a design choice that they carry out throughout the series. But for one thing, you didn't really need the Doctor Strange will return. No shit.
Yeah.
It is. Of course he's coming back.
Yes.
The post-credit scene, I mean, the first one the one that actually had some meaning to it.
Yes.
So Charlize Theron shows up. And this is where my Doctor Strange knowledge falls totally short.
Okay.
I have no idea who she is.
Oh, really?
No.
Okay.
None.
Okay.
No,
you still not know is what I'm asking.
Well, yeah, Clea. I mean,
yes.
Matt was like, well, that's Clea. And I went, great. Who's Clea? And that's what I'm talking here on the chat boards. Yeah. I didn't know this, but at one point that's Doctor Strange's new love interest.
Not new. They're married. Like they
Yeah,
get
yeah,
married.
yeah.
Yeah.
They get married. They have a
Yeah.
daughter, I believe,
She is now in the
in the
comic book.
comics.
She is
Yeah,
now in the comics. She is now the Sorcerer Supreme.
correct. Yeah.
Yes. She's actually
Um.
the Sorcerer Supreme of the Dark Dimension.
So, and I mean, it looked like Cleo was opening a pathway to the dark
To the
dimension,
Dark Dimension. Yes. I'm sure
uh,
she is. I'm
which
sure.
is where Dormammu lives.
Dormammu. Hey, there is a theory out there that Dormammu in the MCU is a strange variant.
Really?
Yes. There's a because they originally were going to have the Candyman guy, the guy with his voice. They were originally going to have the Candyman voice Dormammu.
Okay.
And then they made Benedict Cumberbatch voice Dormammu in the first movie. Okay.
Oh,
And
he's
a
the
lot
voice
of
of Dormammu in the first movie?
yeah, Benedict
I don't know
Cumberbatch
that.
is the voice of Dormammu. So people are trying to like tie things like, is he a variant? Is that a variant of Doctor Strange? Is Dormammu because he I don't know, he
Huh.
got too much power or whatever happened, or he went to the dark side or whatever. But
Interesting.
yeah, that is interesting. That would mess things up a little bit because Dormammu is the uncle of Clea. So
Yeah.
that would be a little weird.
Might be a little weird.
Yeah.
This Doctor Strange, and actually they're heading a little bit more into like the first Doctor Strange. You get the idea that sorcery is another way to manipulate science.
Yes.
Is kind of what
Sacred geometry.
yeah. It's they can they're open to control energies and certain
Yes.
elemental forces and things like that. This one was like, no, there's very much almost like a spiritual end to
Yes.
this, and dark spirits and things of that nature. I'm like, which is very much what it is in the comics as well.
Yes. Yes.
So I was like, oh, they could bring in
Weird.
those horror elements. I mean,
Yeah,
Doctor Strange was
absolutely.
always, it's not a big deal for him to fight vampires and
Right.
things of that nature, those
Yes.
supernatural forces.
Yeah. I think he's
so,
going to
yeah,
be the
I
leader
think-
of the Midnight Suns. I think
Yeah,
they're gonna bring
if they
that.
did,
Yeah.
they do the Midnight Suns. I think it'd be cool if they did, but again, it's so far out there that you're
Yes.
like, are they going to do the Midnight Suns? But definitely they're gonna. It seems they're heading that route, man. It is.
Yeah.
They are bringing in
Well, they got
the
Blade,
supernatural
Black
stuff.
Knight,
Yeah.
Clea, Doctor Strange. I guess you could put Wanda back there, Agatha. They're bringing a lot
Yeah.
of supernatural stuff. So,
And
we'll
as
see.
always, Wong is awesome. Love Wong.
Wong is great. And
Yeah.
I think it's kind of cool that he's still not the Sorcerer Supreme. He,
Oh, the Strange is not, but Wong
Strange
is
is still not the Sorcerer Supreme. Yeah.
No,
I thought maybe he would have gotten it at the end, which
Gotten
worried
it
me a little bit because I thought,
gotten
oh,
it back.
God, I thought, oh God, are they going to kill Wong off? Are they
I
gonna do
love
this?
Wong, and I love that Wong. Their back and forth is fantastic.
Yes, it's really good. It's really
Yeah.
good. Especially that bowing. He's like, see,
Yeah.
that's polite. He's like,
Yeah, see, yeah, it's tradition. He's like, yeah, whatever.
yeah. So, yeah, but overall, I really enjoyed it. Really liked it. I have no idea where they're going with this. I'm not going to even pretend. I think it goes somewhere with Kang and incursions. That's it.
Maybe, and
maybe a
at the
battle
same
world.
time, I don't need to put my brain power into that right
Yeah,
now.
yeah.
I've got plenty
You
of
don't.
other.
You don't. Yeah, I think you and I are getting to the point where we're just going to we're just enjoying the ride.
I'm just waiting for Thor.
I did pull this up. This was a what do you call it? A survey I found on YouTube where it says, "How do you feel about the MCU right now?" And I'm going to throw this out to our audience. Doctor
Ooh.
Strange and the Multiverse of Madness is the 28th MCU movie, sitting alongside several Disney Plus series and many other projects in development. To you, is the MCU keeps getting better? I will never get tired of it. Are you the MCU is of consistent quality and interest and I have interest for it? Or are you the MCU's best days are likely behind us, but I'm still in? Are you the MCU is slowly losing my interest as they expire? Or are you the last option, which is I dabble, or I'm fully out? I'm experiencing superhero fatigue. So a broad range. And so I was going to throw it out to you, Greg. Where are you in that? Where are you in that right now?
Oh gosh. right now, I think it's really hard for me to say I would skip an MCU project,
I agree.
like especially a theatrical release. Like
Uh-huh.
I'm gonna be there for that.
Yep. I'm even gonna watch Ms.
At
Marvel.
at the same time, yeah. And you know what? I'm one of those guys that didn't think the first Marvel was that bad.
No, Ms. Marvel.
Oh, Ms. Marvel. Yeah.
Yes.
No, yeah, I'm in for that too. You know, let's see. So I'm there for all the theatrical releases, most of the DC Plus stuff coming out, or I'm sorry, Disney Plus stuff coming out. I can imagine I'll watch.
Yeah.
At the same time, and this is just for Hollywood in general.
Okay.
I'm really looking forward to some more original IPs, intellectual properties. I want to see stuff that I haven't seen before.
Okay.
Last weekend I did go see Everything Everywhere All at Once.
Yes.
And it is weird as hell. And it was awesome.
That's what I hear.
Like
very good.
A fantastic film. This week I'm going to go see The Northman.
I am shocked to shit you haven't seen that yet.
Oh, it wasn't playing up by me. Matt didn't get it yet.
Okay.
He had it this weekend, but you know what? It was Mother's Day, so I didn't get to go see it today. Yeah. But I think on Tuesday, he and I are going to get together and watch it. And it's just, I'm really looking forward to Jordan Peele's Nope. If you guys have seen that trailer, you know, there's things in the MCU like I'm waiting to see how are they going to bring it all together. I mean, Marshall just posted he's waiting around until Wolverine makes an appearance. Yeah.
Oh, and then he's out.
No, I don't think he's out, but that's the stuff that we're waiting to see right now. Yes, in the next Thor film, you know, Lady Thor going to be awesome. I think.
Yes.
Really in for that. The next couple Guardians project, the Christmas special. I saw some screenshots of the early Guardians 3 filming. Looks cool. I like the costumes. Want to see where they take that with the Adam Warlock stuff.
Right.
So there's things in the MCU that I'm like waiting to see. But if they were still cranking out like Captain America films, I would be getting a little burnt out, I think.
Yeah.
Or if they were still like trying to fight a Thanos level thing. I'm enjoying these kind of one-offs. Yes. Not even one-offs, because
I hear you.
But I'm enjoying these like other character projects that they're doing.
Yes.
And I think there's a lot more there that we're not seeing yet.
Yeah, I agree with you. I actually put right now, I fluctuate. The MCU keeps getting better and I will never tire of it. I'm like that some days. Other days I'm like, you know what? The MCU's probably had its best days behind and likely it's going to start tailoring off because that's just the way the world works. That's just the way it goes. So I'm in between all that. It depends on like you said, I can't see myself in the near future missing one.
Right.
I can't see me going, no, you know what? I'm not going to watch that.
There's Marvel Studios is such a powerhouse now that it's not like they're just going to just actually stop. Like they're not going to be like, yep, we're not. I can see them doing fewer projects as depending on where this phase 4 piece goes. Right. Yeah. But I think it's honestly going in the realm of comic books. There's going to be eventually there's probably going to be a spot where I'm like, I'm totally in for this character storyline and this one. I watched the first couple films and I'm just kind of like not into it anymore.
Yeah. And that's a good point. And I was telling myself to make that point today was that just I like Doctor Strange. And as I'm reading some old copies of Doctor Strange, some of them are just bad. It's just bad writing. Like there's some bad Spider-Man writing. There's some bad Hulk writing. It
doesn't hold up as much as it is.
They're very hard to like that. And you made a good point. I think they maxed out on Iron Man. I think they maxed out on Captain America, and then they maxed out. I think they're maxing out on Thor. I don't know. Where they take it. But I think eventually it's just gonna another Marvel movie, and that's how it's gonna react unless they reset the universe in 20 years. Because according to Feige, they have the next 10 years already planned out. It's already
Sure.
it's on this blueprint somewhere on.
But
this
again, I think it's going to be along the lines where you're going to follow a character, or you're going to be following a writer director. Like if they announced right away, at the end of Falcon and Winter Soldier, season 2 coming up in summer of 2022, and we're getting there, I wouldn't be like, oh man, that's coming up, I want to see that. I would literally let that entire show run before I go back and watch it, because I was that unimpressed with Falcon and Winter Soldier.
I see. Okay, I see what you're saying.
So
I wouldn't be jazzed about it, but I would watch each episode.
I would watch each episode, but I'm not doing it like opening night. Like
I hear you.
Let's
like Wednesday night. This is what we're doing.
Yeah. Schedule your stuff around. Cancel this, cancel that. Sorry, we can't make it. Because I'm watching Falcon and Winter Soldier.
Right.
I would be like, and if we missed a week, let's just binge 2 or 3 episodes in a row a couple times, and then we got the whole thing.
Yeah, I heard that they're in development. They're making a Captain America with Sam Wilson. They better do it on Disney Plus. I don't think it's going to take off well in the theaters. That's just my opinion.
Right.
Depends on who does it though.
I honestly thought we would, and I'm going to bring this up because I'm also typing it up right now. I thought we would get a little peep at White Vision, where because he's still out there.
Yeah. That's the one thing I'm a little bit shocked about with this Multiverse of Madness, and it's my fault too, because I hyped it in my head a lot. I thought this was going to open up a bigger,
like more stuff.
Yeah, I thought she was going to pull the No More Mutants, or she was going to pull let there be mutants, or
something that would have that big.
Yeah, and I felt this was kind of like, well,
it's a contained story. It is a contained.
Yeah, I feel like
Strange
it's just
story.
Okay, we're done now. Let's move on to what else we're gonna do.
I thought we would, I thought whatever happened here, like, oh, that's gonna affect what's happening in Thor. I'm not sure if it will.
I agree with you. I think it's kind of like I heard it started with WandaVision, the middle was Spider-Man No Way Home, and the end was Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness. That's what I heard. I guess you can put Loki in there too, but I heard that was kind of like the plan with that. So I think this is done. I think Multiverse
in this stage, in this current kind of.
Yeah, I think there's definitely going to be what are they called? Concursions? Not concursions.
Incursions.
I think we're going to start dealing with that.
Yeah.
So
and we'll see what happens. I mean,
I think it's also important to point out that the Illuminati is only from that universe. It wasn't like a collection of all the universes, and that was their planet.
Yeah, that was a theory that I actually thought of going into it, was this Illuminati is from various other realities. It's not. It was just that utopian reality that wasn't as utopian as it looked.
Right.
Which I thought was interesting.
Yeah. And I guess if I'm being picky, I wish, the whole how they're trying to run away from Wanda in that world, and she keeps chasing them. If there was a stopgap each time, and we got a little bit more like a Captain Carter, her, and one off, and then as they're going down the tunnel, there'd be Reed, then there'd be, I kind of felt like they were all there at once, and boom, done.
Yep.
I thought, shit,
that was a little quick.
Yeah.
The other inconsistency that I found, and I thought about this as they're going with the pizza ball vendor played by Bruce Campbell, which was the comedy piece.
I thought he was going to be Balder, to be honest.
Just the idea that, forget about the scene itself, but America was like, oh yeah, most places don't use money anymore, and food is free. I mean, your universe is a little weird. The way she was talking about her universe hopping, and I'm like, wait a minute, you do this involuntarily. Like, it didn't match that she could only universe hop when she was absolutely terrified and her powers went into effect. But by middle of the film, it makes it sound like she's hopping realities looking for her mothers.
Her mothers.
Just like as a like, no, I've explored other universes, or the one where they do the universe hopping, and Steven was like, was there one in there when we're paint.
Yeah.
She's like, yeah, you don't want to get stuck there. It's a little hard to find food. Her kind of nonchalantness, I'm like, that doesn't fit. That's a
I
disconnect.
could see that now. That doesn't fit. The way I kind of connected that dot was that's what she was. We don't know how long she's been running from Wanda. We don't know. You know, because
Wanda at least,
it opens,
yeah.
it opens right away. She's being chased. We don't know how long she's been on that journey with that Defender Strange, or we don't know because she did say, like, out of all the Stranges, this is the nicest one.
Yeah.
So she's dealt with more than
a couple. Yeah, that's true.
So maybe that's how I connected that dot. But you make a good point there. Like, she was I don't know how to do it, but I do go to all these different places
and hang out for a while.
Get food.
You're like, really? That doesn't seem as life and death as it did, an hour ago.
Right.
But I thought that was, and for the most part, I thought America was a fine, tertiary character. But at the same time,
I think she's going to be a young Avengers.
Oh yeah, definitely. And she should be. She absolutely should be.
Yeah, I thought she did a good job. I thought everybody did a good job. Again, I am not a Sam Raimi guy, so but
okay.
You know what? That was Sam.
Not everybody did a good job.
Okay,
Sam, the actors who played her kids.
Oh yeah, they sucked. That song was horrendous.
The whole, and this is very Sam Raimi. That he has to have some level of just bad acting and cheeseball dialogue and just the framing of some of those shots.
I know. I hated some of that.
And you're like, you were doing so well. And then here's a shot of a kid just going.
Yeah.
And you're like, why? Why would that's the best thing you could do? I didn't like it.
I agree. I don't like a lot of his shots, to be honest. Again, I'm not a Sam Raimi fan, but can you think of a director that's any better for what Doctor Strange is, like his world? That is Sam Raimi. It really is.
I mean, Can't
you see him in Evil Dead? Can't you see Doctor Strange just all of a sudden popping in?
And that's what it was. It was the way it was shot was very Evil Dead, Army of Darkness, even Darkman.
What's the one? The one with they go to a cabin and it's actually a whole cabin in the woods.
Yeah, it's Cabin in the Woods, but that
wasn't Raimi, right?
No, that was Joss Whedon.
Did he have an idea? Like, was he part of that at all? That seemed very Josh
Raimi.
Yeah, it seemed very Raimi.
No, that was Joss Whedon doing Joss Whedon-y things.
All right.
I mean, so and that's what I mean. Like, I knew there was going to be some level of cheese and bad acting, kind of going into it. And he just centered it all on those two young actors, which too bad for those kids.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. So,
all right.
How
you doing?
I think that's it.
Yeah, I think we're at an hour. So
yeah, I think that's it. So, do your usual, sir.
Oh yeah, as you're going through a week and the weather's getting nice. People are going to be getting outside.
Yeah.
Doing yard work, taking their dogs for a walk, all that other stuff. You're going to have more interactions with humans, man. And some of them are not going to be nice. And while you're doing that, just don't be a douche. They may be a douche, but you don't have to return it. So there you go. Don't be a douche.
All right. For the Greg, this is Johnny saying happy Mother's Day out there to all the mothers out there. And podcast out, everybody. Take care.
Bye-bye.
See you later.